with a little bit of distance. I'll chill with my friend in the park. We talk and catch up. We did that like once a week. And so today was our meeting. And at one point, Alex was like, "Whoa, Jose!" Jose is my best buddy in Bielefeld. I haven't seen my best buddy for a month. And so I'm just super stoked to see my friend. And we're talking, we're standing, mind you, 3-4 meters, probably 4 meters away from each other. So we've got great distance, and we're not sitting down. There's new rules on picnicking. You're not allowed to sit down with probably a blanket and with food and chill. Anything that would incite other people to do the same thing, you're not allowed to do. So don't make the appearance of a picnic. Well, we were standing. It was like we weren't even together. And we were approached by two women with yellow reflector jackets, and they said, "This is the Ordnungsamt," so that we're part of the Office for Order, Security, and you're in violation of the social distancing. You're meeting with a group of 3. You're allowed to meet with 2, though it's encouraged you only go alone. And even though we had this happen chance meeting that Jose was just walking by, yeah, we all got ticketed. Now we all have to pay individually 200 euros. But you know, it's the way it is. That's the rule. You have to be that far apart. And we weren't, even though it was just a quick hello and we talked. I mean, it wasn't a quick hello. We talked for 7 minutes. We were breaking the rules and I got busted. I'm an educator. And so when we get we have a lot of vacation time, but when we do get vacation time, we spend a lot of it thinking about when we got to go back to school. Not because we don't want to work, but just because it's intensive work. And it seems like it's just not enough downtime to sort of recoup one's psychic energies. But now during the Corona quarantine, you've got this feeling of timelessness. There's just, I don't know what day of the week it is. I don't know what time of day it is. And you just are very, very present with what you're doing. So I've been able to read a lot more. I've been able to do some creative work, painting, going for walks. We're not on full lockdown. We're allowed to leave the house in Germany and go to the park, ride our bikes. So I'm employed as an educator. And while the type or the way that we're doing work is different online, I'm not losing my job, even though it looks different. You can't fire someone during a crisis here. So I still get paid. Even though I'm working in a different capacity, and I've got universal health care. And that's not just in Germany, that works for all of Europe. So hypothetically, if I would have been in another country before borders were closed and I was locked in another country and I had no place to go except that country, I would still be receiving pay. I would still have access to health care if I needed it. And that's not a luxury that the average American worker has, as well as people that are working by the hour here. But there is a stimulus package here that is helping folks out as well, and small businesses and bigger businesses. But that's the main reason why I'm able to sort of enjoy the time off.
But as this does go on, what are you particularly concerned about or worried about?
I'm a little bit more worried for y'all in the US right now. I'm not so worried about it in Germany. They've had a good handle of the situation. There was a survey done, I think it was by Die Zeit. I can't remember exactly which newspaper did it, but there was a survey early on that showed 95% of Germans were satisfied with the measures that were being implemented, and people were following the rules. And then you get something that happened yesterday in Michigan in the Lansing protest, thousands of people showing up with their cars and signs and I'd say hateful rhetoric. It was sort of missing the stated purpose of the protest anyway. That's scary. That's really scary, because I think it's not going to go away in the United States. They were a little late to respond, first of all. And you've got some places where it's just out of control, in Michigan, for example. And I think that if that's the response you get after a few weeks in, and the quarantine measures are extended yet again, which is possible, especially if people are protesting in mass and spreading the virus more, I worry that could happen again.
Have you seen, from your perspective, a contrast, or could you contrast the German versus U.S. response at a federal level?
Well, I think I don't know if we had cases sooner. I think we dealt with it more swiftly and the isolating patients, and had prepared for it. Now, I think the U.S. and Germany reacted still, both places, a little too slowly. My roommates and I were following the coronavirus. its developments in China in January. Even at the end of December, we were following it. And my roommate's also a teacher, and he and I both said at the beginning of January, we're like, you know what? I think the schools are going to be closed soon in Germany. And sure enough, our timing was off. But yeah, it's worldwide now. Everybody's closing down. I think the people are responding differently, and that has a lot to do with the infrastructure, the way that cities are designed and planned. Here, you've got sidewalks, you have bike paths, you've got parks, you've got big public spaces. And in the US, you've got lots of private spaces that people meet. When people meet, they go out to spend money. They go to a restaurant, they go to a cafe. They don't go to the park, they don't ride their bike or walk to meet a friend. Um, you can do that in some places, but most places you can't. And so I think for a German citizen or a resident of Germany, it's a lot easier to feel mobile. You don't feel like your mobility has been taken away. Whereas in the US, like you've got Zoom, Skype, WhatsApp, iChat, and otherwise you're not meeting with people. And so I think here you still have a sense of connection with nature, a sense of connection with other people. You see other people out, even if you're not having close proximity with them. There's still a sense of normalcy here. I don't know what it's like in the US. I'm not there, but I imagine that it would feel pretty cooped up.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you go, Kyle. Before I do you have any final parting wisdom or advice for us?
Okay. I sure to God hope that this crisis shifts the social political consciousness in the United States. It has highlighted every single reason why progressive politics is needed. Universal health care, child care for all, paid sick leave, better wages, social security in general. I think, yeah, guaranteed right to work would be great too, or universal basic income as well. I think this crisis has highlighted the necessity for that type of politics moving forward. I don't know if I can say that as a takeaway, but I hope that that's become abundantly clear. I really hope so.